Hello again, Morris Baynett, Technical Director at ecoMaster with you once more, and today's topic is making energy use visible, and we're talking about electrical energy. So how do we find out what actually is using all the power in our homes? And how much power are we using? How much solar feeding are we having? All that kind of stuff. So the first port of call with that is to have an in-home display. So a display that maybe sits on your kitchen bench and you can glance at it and find out all kinds of great information from that. Now there are two kinds of in-home displays. Here's one kind that connect directly to your smart meter, wirelessly to your smart meter. So they're all look pretty good, but they all have one thing in common, and that is this: they're out of stock, and they're permanently out of stock. Who knows why, but for quite some time these have been unobtainable in this country. So that leaves us with the second version of in-home displays, and that's this kind. That come in two parts, a transmitter and a receiver that actually displays information. Now, the transmitter has this part here that's called a ferrite core, and that gets placed around the main power cable that's bringing power into your home. Now, there's two disadvantages with this. One is the transmitter uses batteries, so you've got to replace the batteries, and you need an electrician to install it. Can't do it yourself. Okay, but having said that, the big advantage of these is it doesn't matter what kind of meter you've got in your meter box, whether it's an old one or a smart meter, it's going to work anyway. So if we're going to have an in-home display, then it's going to be one of this type, not necessarily this particular one, but one of this type where you need an electrician to install it. Now, if you happen to have a smart meter, and that includes everybody in Victoria and a few people up the eastern seaboard, New South Wales, ACT, Queensland, where they're rolling out rather slowly. But if you do happen to have a smart meter, then you've probably got access to some kind of portal where you can look at your smart meter data. So in Victoria, the local distributors, people that look after the local poles and wires, have access to your meter data, and they make it available in a portal like this. So Gemini is one of those, and here it is. Pretty good, really. So you can see here 1 day's data. You can see it go negative during the day from solar feed-in. You can see a spike at 1 AM when the hot water came on for a boost for a short time. You can tell a fair bit of stuff, and you can slice up the data however you like, week, month, etc. So it's a really great facility, and it's free simply because we've got a smart meter. So that's a really good thing. Now, if you're in New South Wales, you're probably not going to get that from a distributor, but you might get it from your energy retailer. It's a good question for them if you're thinking of changing retailers. So here's AGL, simply as an example, and they've got an app, and there it is. Check your energy use in there. Of course, it's going to rely on you having a smart meter in order for them to get the data. Okay, what does a smart meter look like? There's one. Anything with a blinking red light on the front, that's a smart meter. Now, if you're in WA, they've got this Synergy Smart Home Plan. They're going to roll out smart meters for you. And what's one of the things that they've got here? Track your energy use with My Account, our free energy management tool. Okay, so assume that that's going to look something like the Gemini application that we just saw, and pretty good for free, really. Okay, now the last thing that we can do is we can plug in, here we go. This is an example of one of these things. So you put that in your PowerPoint and you plug an appliance into it, and it can do two things. So one is you can program it to switch on and off, but you can also tell how much power that appliance is using. It's controlled from your smartphone or Google Home, or I think Alexa as well. Anyway, they're pretty amazing things, multifunction. So that's the other thing you can do, but it's really just going to tell you appliance by appliance, so long as they're plug in. It's not going to tell you anything about your air conditioner, unfortunately. So that's a bit sad, isn't it? If you've got the smart meter and the charting like this, then maybe you can organise for everything else to be off and just your air conditioner to be on for half an hour, and then you'll get a usage on that on the chart. Okay, so that's it. Making your energy use visible If you're going to have an in-home display, unfortunately it's going to be one of these with the ferrite core and the electrician to install. But once having done that, they really can work pretty well. And if you've got a smart meter, then of course you're going to get access to your smart meter data one way or another, and I think that's a really great thing. So there you go, making energy use visible in your home. I hope that was helpful. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.